At the bottom of the Baltic Sea lies a secret too perfect to be natural and too ancient to be modern. For decades it lingered in silence, seen only as a strange shadow on sonar. But when divers finally reached it, the truth they uncovered was not just history forgotten, it was a revelation humanity was never meant to find. Our story begins, as many good mysteries do, with a team of intrepid oceanographers and treasure hunters. In June 2011, a Swedish salvage company called Ocean X Group was exploring the floor of the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland. They weren't looking for ancient alien spacecraft. They were actually searching for shipwrecks and sunken cargo. Their equipment was state-of-the-art, designed to pierce the dark, cold depths and reveal what lay hidden for centuries. What they found that day wasn't a centuries-old schooner laden with gold. It was something entirely different. Their sonar picked up a massive circular object, approximately 60 meters, about 200 feet in diameter, resting at a depth of roughly 87 meters, 285 feet. And it wasn't just a blob. It had incredibly distinct features. It was almost perfectly round, with what looked like a long, flat runway or drag mark leading up to it, stretching for about 300 meters. Imagine the shock. For a team used to seeing the jagged outlines of sunken ships or natural rock formations, this was unprecedented. Peter Lindbergh, the co-founder of Ocean X, described it as looking like a giant mushroom, or perhaps a large tower, coming up from the seabed. This initial discovery was, understandably, met with a mix of excitement and profound skepticism. Was it a natural formation, a forgotten military installation, or something far more extraordinary? The internet, of course, exploded. Within days, the Baltic Sea Anomaly became a global phenomenon. Theories ranged from the plausible to the utterly fantastical. Some suggested it was a perfectly preserved meteorite impact crater. Others, more dramatically, hypothesized it was a sunken UFO, a relic of an ancient advanced civilization, or even a secret Nazi anti-submarine device from the Second World War. The sheer symmetry and unusual shape fueled the wildest speculation, turning a deep-sea sonar blip into one of the greatest modern maritime mysteries. The world was waiting, holding its breath for someone to dare the pressures of the deep sea, brave it, and reveal its secrets. The deep dive. First expeditions and frustrations with the world watching. The pressure was on Ocean X to go back, but deep-sea exploration isn't like a quick trip to the local pond. The Baltic Sea is notoriously cold, dark, and its depths are unforgiving. Their initial sonar data was compelling, but to truly understand what they had found, they needed to get eyes on it. In 2012, almost a year after the initial discovery, the Ocean X team launched their first manned expedition to the anomaly. It was a costly, dangerous, and technologically demanding undertaking. They brought down remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and even divers to investigate the mysterious object up close. This wasn't just about curiosity, it was about scientific verification. What they found was both exhilarating and, in some ways, even more perplexing. The object was indeed massive and circular, just as the sonar had indicated. Divers reported seeing what looked like steps or staircases on one side, and smooth, almost unnatural surfaces. They collected samples, but these initial findings only deepened the mystery rather than solving it. The visibility was poor, the equipment struggled in the extreme conditions, and detailed analysis was difficult. Adding to the intrigue, the team reported strange phenomena near the anomaly. Their electronic equipment, including satellite phones and dive computers, would mysteriously malfunction when they got too close. Some even claimed that their lights would flicker. While these anecdotal accounts could be attributed to deep-sea interference or equipment limitations, they certainly added fuel to the more outlandish theories circulating online. Was the object emitting some kind of electromagnetic pulse? Or was it merely the crushing pressure and cold playing havoc with delicate electronics? Despite the challenges, these early expeditions confirmed one crucial fact. This was no ordinary rock formation. Its size, its distinct shape, and the peculiar runway leading up to it all pointed to something highly unusual, but what it was exactly remained stubbornly out of reach. The scientific community, though intrigued, remained largely cautious, demanding more conclusive evidence. The blurry images and anecdotal reports, while fascinating, weren't enough to sway the consensus. The Baltic Sea Anomaly had firmly established itself as a truly perplexing enigma, daring anyone to unravel its secrets. So what exactly did the scientists discover? What was blurry in the sea? The answers may shock you. Let's find out. The skeptics versus the believers. A battle of interpretations as images and reports from the early expeditions trickled out. The global conversation intensified. On one side, you had the fervent believers, convinced this was evidence of extraterrestrial visitation, an ancient lost civilization, or even a secret military project hidden from public view. On the other, the skeptical scientific community urged caution, pointing to geological explanations and the notorious unreliability of underwater imaging. Let's look at some of the wilder theories that gained traction. The UFO hypothesis, for instance, suggested the anomaly was a crashed spacecraft. Its circular shape and runway eerily reminiscent of cinematic depictions of alien landings. Proponents pointed to the electronic interference experienced by Ocean X as further proof of advanced otherworldly technology. The sheer size and apparent symmetry fueled these narratives, making it easy for the public to imagine something truly out of this world. Then there was the idea of a Nazi anti-submarine device. The Baltic Sea was a strategic battleground during the Second World War, and both sides experimented with advanced, often secret, naval technology. The circular shape could, theoretically, have been some sort of specialized acoustic reflector or a defensive structure. However, no known historical records or designs matched the anomaly's description or scale. But the scientific community largely leaned towards a more mundane, but still interesting explanation: a natural geological formation. The most prominent theory was that the anomaly was a glacial erratic, a large rock or boulder transported by glaciers and left behind as they retreated. The Baltic Sea basin was shaped by massive ice sheets during the last ice age, and such formations are not uncommon. Another idea was that it was a manganese nodule, a common type of rock found on seabeds, though typically much smaller than the Baltic Sea anomaly. A compelling natural explanation came from geologist Volker Bruckert of Stockholm University. He suggested it could be a large, natural rock outcropping, perhaps formed from glacial meltwater rivers or even a subglacial volcano. The runway could simply be the path of sediments pushed by currents or even the glacier itself. The peculiar shape and reported steps could be explained by natural erosion and fracturing over millennia. Was it an extraterrestrial visitation, an alien invasion, or just nature playing tricks? The game changer. New technology, new data for years. The mystery of the Baltic Sea lingered, debated but unresolved. The initial sonar data gathered was compelling, the diving reports interesting, but answers remaining indefinite. The limitations of early deep-sea technology meant that much of the evidence was blurry, anecdotal, or open to multiple interpretations. To truly crack the Baltic Sea anomaly, something more was needed: a new generation of deep-sea exploration technology. In recent years, advancements in sonar, remote sensing, and autonomous underwater vehicles (AUVs) have revolutionized oceanography. High-resolution multi-beam sonar systems can create incredibly detailed 3D maps of the seabed, far surpassing the capabilities of the original equipment used by Ocean X. These systems can penetrate sediment layers, differentiate between various materials, and build a picture with unprecedented clarity. This is where the narrative shifts dramatically. While the Ocean X team provided the initial spark, it was a coalition of international marine geologists, funded by various research institutions, who finally brought the cutting-edge technology to bear on the anomaly. Their mission was clear: obtain irrefutable higher-resolution data that would either confirm a natural origin or, astonishingly, point to something else entirely. They were not driven by sensationalism, but by the meticulous pursuit of scientific truth. The data they collected was a game changer. Sophisticated AUVs, equipped with synthetic aperture, sonar, and magnetometers, meticulously scanned the entire area around the anomaly, not just the object itself. They created incredibly precise topographical maps, analyzed the magnetic signature of the object and its surroundings, and even detected subtle changes in the seafloor composition. This wasn't just a blurred image anymore. It was a forensic examination of the deep. These new scans reveal was astonishing. The perfect circularity, the steps, the runway. All the features that had fueled decades of speculation were now seen in stark, undeniable detail. And the story they told was far more complex, and frankly, far more unsettling than any single theory had previously suggested. This wasn't just about identifying a rock. It was about understanding its true nature and the implications of its presence at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The age of speculation was over. The age of revelation had begun.